So I just saw the notification, as I'm sure most of you did, that eBay is putting in a bid to buy TCG Player. I heard the commentary from Kitchen Table Magic and Kitchen Table TCG, sorry, and I thought I needed to pull off the road and have my own 2 cents put in there for it. So in the mergers and acquisitions field, obviously people try and merge and acquire as much as possible. So clearly, in my mind at least, the Channel Fireball purchase was done on purpose. My guess is, and this is total speculation, but my guess is that eBay was interested in TCG Player, but it wasn't enough of a piece of the pie for them to bite off. Maybe they were interested in both TCG Player and Channel Fireball, or maybe another entity. So TCG Player probably went ahead based on that information, picked up Channel Fireball, knowing that they would be a much more favorable target for eBay. Could be the other way around too. Maybe TCG Player was planning to shop itself, so they picked up Channel Fireball to be more enticing to whoever they presented to. Because sometimes mergers and acquisitions happen from the other way. It's not a acquisition, it's a sale side of things. Most likely, I know Kitchen Table had mentioned about COVID affecting things, with people getting massive sales and probably revenue and probably profits. I'm pretty confident that that is part of their reason. There was a COVID bump that pushed up the values of these companies to astronomical margins, probably something they haven't seen in years, or since they've been around. So it's the right time for them to get out. The downside of all that, unfortunately, is that a contraction in the market like that, I know people are concerned like he was about fees and pricing like that. The other concern with contraction like that in the market, or mergers and acquisitions like that, is that these companies do see the market contracting itself. I know we're heading into recessionary pressures from things like inflation and whatnot. So I'm guessing that they all see the writing on the wall of saying there's not going to be enough room for all these entities to exist going forward. So by eBay acquiring TCG Player, which had already acquired Channel Fireball, they are putting everything into a much smaller package that's easier for them to manage. I know right now they said they're going to run them independently, and they probably will for the most part, probably for at least 2 or 3 years, maybe up to 5 years, but they have now amalgamated all of, well, not all of, but a huge chunk of the management structure of that. Being an online retailer, they do not have the same brick and mortar costs of people and management and whatnot. So they're going to get a pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but a lot easier way of eliminating some of the accounting departments and some of the upper management departments, probably even marketing. They can probably merge marketing into eBay marketing and just have little divisions of it. So they're going to eliminate a huge amount of the overhead, at least of the people overhead. I'm assuming TCG Player and Channel Fireball probably went through AWS servers already. If they didn't, they went through Azure servers, so they're just going to jump over to AWS, I'm sure, which will be a amalgamation of costs there, which will eliminate some of the costs pertaining to those entities. Fee structure, yeah, that's a concern. It could change. It could escalate a bit. However, if it escalates too much, it will make room in the market for others to come in. I know there's a couple that have already started coming in. There's one in particular, I wish I could remember their name. They were acting like a TCG Player style. Merger of technologies would be great, but we usually don't see that right away. I'm talking about other industries, not the eBay and card game industry to begin with, but other industries. That's how they function. They don't really merge everything right away, but they do after a small period of time. 3 to 5 years usually is my prediction. So I think probably within 3 years, and they'll use recessionary pressures and things like that as the excuse for why all of a sudden now they are one entity, and they're maybe just using the TCG Player name as a branding recognition name on a go-forward basis at that point. But they will amalgamate that stuff over time, just not right away. That's most likely why that happened. So my biggest concern is the contraction in the market, which does show a slowdown. Another interesting thing is being part of the whole independent TCG market. I know a lot of people have said that TCG Player has shown a lot of interest in them. These are independents, the bigger independents like Genesis Battle Champions, Legion's Realms at War, MetaZoo, I guess I can still call independent maybe, and Flesh and Blood. The smaller independents though too, right? Like the very independent ones that are like first release only, just kickstarted sort of thing. They all said they saw a bunch of interest in TCG Player. So my fear for that, and this is a warning to all of you guys right now, is that by getting your name on a docket and a potential growth, TCG Player could bolster their numbers for future potential with eBay. So they have their listings of, current sales, current this, current whatever. They now put in a new chunk in there in their listings that says, these are the potential future TCGs we can pick up. If we can do similar numbers to that, we grow exponentially. So my concern for all of you is they were just using your names to bolster their valuation to eBay. They may have no intentions of ever interacting with any of you guys in the long term, which is sad to say. Now that they're part of the eBay umbrella, it might be even harder. They might pick and choose just one or two, but the general majority, they might not. Now, eBay might. They might go ahead and say, yes, we want to see these come to fruition and we'll find value in them. It'll just be part of the machine. But I'm pretty confident they used a lot of that information just to bolster up their numbers for future potential growth. It's something that's often done in the M&A sphere. People will talk about what they currently have and where they think they can go, much like they acquire other companies, like TCG Player acquiring Channel Fireball to eliminate competition and buy up new technologies or different technologies to show that they have a better package to offer. So that's my concern there. I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it is fresh and new, and I didn't have this in my mind to do at all. Like I said, I pulled to the side so I could just, spout out my opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll hopefully post a follow-up later on. Some of the information will be somewhat accessible. eBay is public, if I'm not mistaken, so some of their information will be available on their shareholders' documents as they release them over time. But that won't be, if closing is January 2023, first quarter of that year, maybe you'll get those numbers, right? Whenever the transaction closes in. So we won't have all those details, and we won't have any historic details on what TCG Player and Channel Fireball did beforehand, because those weren't public. But yeah, the Channel Fireball acquisition was all about TCG Player selling, either from a top-down or bottom-up mentality. My assumption is TCG Player was setting themselves up to sell. So they acquired Channel Fireball. I wouldn't be surprised if they were trying to acquire a couple others that fell through. They bolstered their numbers by increasing their potentials for outside of the big three, outside of your Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh collections, by enticing a bunch of new independent TCGs into their future plans. And the transaction will see a merger over time and is really concerning on the contraction of the market. These people know that they can't survive as three separate entities trying to sell the same product, so they are combining the market. It's the right time for those companies too. Whoever owned TCG Player and Channel Fireball, this was probably the right time for them to get out. Not to say they couldn't survive through the slump, but they're probably at a peak right now. It's the right time to walk away. It'll take another maybe decade to get these numbers hitting again, I'm assuming. Again, thanks for watching. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. And I'll probably disagree with you unless you agree with me. But that's okay, because that's what debate is all about. Thank you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.